Yeah, come on in, come on in, come on into my place. Come on in, come on in, come on into my place. Come on in, come on in, come on into my place. Come on in, come on in. Come on into my place. Come on into my place. Oh, come on into my place. Yeah. That's my jam right there. You're like, wait, that's your jam. Where'd that come from? I have no idea where that come from. It's just a song that I just like to sing whenever I come on live. One of these days, I guess I'll go ahead and write that song. I want to talk about Father's Day. Let's recap on what happened today with the fathers and the day and the children and all this other stuff and bluesy, okay? Because it's not so much that I want to beat up on the women for claiming to be something that they're not, but it's more so a recap to see what can we do from all of the things that's been happening with the pandemic and the police brutality and racism, and then we cap it all off with Father's Day today. Uh-oh. Hello, everybody. It's Sirwalterj, the Sirwalterj Jones Show. I'm here. It is the evening edition. Baby, how y'all is? Come on in. Water is fine, water's fine, water's fine today. I got a song for everything. Water is fine, for water is fine. Water is fine today. Verena, blessings to you. Long time no see. Where you been? Ramsey, there you are. How you is? Tina Moore and Carolyn Grace to the keys and the Lula B. Good evening to you. How do you do? I just want to tell you that Jesus is my Savior. How do you do? Fathers are a blessing to the world. Funny thing about God, funny thing about him, Eleanor, thank you. God created man and woman, Adam and Eve, and then what he did was he pumped spermatozoa in this man. This is gonna get a little tight. This is gonna be like my romance in the park. Okay, so y'all might want to grab some coffee. Lynette from Philadelphia, blessings to you. Grab some coffee, all right, because this is gonna get a little tricky. Yeah, thank you, Nakia. Thank you so much. This is gonna get a little tricky. God pumped sperm into a man. Mm-hmm. And he told him to be fruitful and multiply. And he told the man to name things in the garden. Just name it. Adam started naming stuff. Left and right started naming them. And God says, this man is alone. And I need to give him a help meet. Thank you, Nakia. She loved the red. I was out with my daughter today. I'll explain that later. I need to give this man a woman, and so what he did was he put this man to sleep. Blessed to you, Kathleen Walker. And then out of, not his mouth, not out of his neck, not out of the back of his head, nor through his behind, but out of his side, God pulled woman out. He called her woman or woven man, and he called them both Adam. I don't think y'all getting any of this. Blessing to you, Liddell. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, she's Eve and he's Adam, but they both was called Adam. You ladies out there, y'all got a man's name. Melian, Morrison, Keys, Walker, and Conley, and Carey, all right, and Bronzeville. Those are male names. You understand? If it's your maiden name, it's still the name of a man, not a woman, because woman was pulled from man, and you are mankind. Understand? In a woman, he put this womb, this fallopian tube, and he put all the eggs you're going to need at birth. Every month, y'all go through this cycle biologically of sorts. Understand? I'm trying to help y'all out. Maybe you forgot all this stuff, okay? So him pumping spermatozoa in a man and not in a woman, because the man is the seed layer. He pumps the seed into this woman because therein lies the egg which needs to be fertilized. Come on now, all right? So when the sperm meets the egg, one penetrates the egg, and then we go through a system called, I don't know, mitosis, meiosis, cell division, all the stuff you learned in grammar school. And then you see X and Y chromosomes, all right? And you see the makeup through this child, this egg, this embryo, through deoxyribonucleic acid. You understand? All these things we learned in school, okay? So this man, God called him father, and this woman, God called her mother, and they knew one another, and they bore a child, and he called that child Cain, and then they bore another one, and that child was named Abel. That was the setup from the beginning. God never changed it. He never altered it. He never progressed around it and through it, above it, beneath it. It was that way 6,000-7,000 years ago, and it's still the same way today. God made man and woman, father and mother, and he gave them both different roles. Good evening to you. So good to see you, Turkish child. You understand? Okay. And this role becomes complicated today, but God did not complicate it at the very beginning. Even Jesus was trying to help the people who were divorcing their wives for just any reason, to just divorce them. And Moses was passing out writs of divorce. And Jesus said, okay, Moses did this to protect the woman. But at the beginning, Christ said it was not like that. Who changed it? Who gave you permission to change what God has created? Understand? So this father's role is to teach the child, whether son or daughter, it is to properly rear them and instruct them and show them who God is. The job of the father is to teach them when they're young the history of the family. Do you understand? That's the father's job. That's why you always see in these movies and these stories and these tales and these books where they go down there to the town hall or the center of town, or into some forest, and it's always a man giving the story. In tribes, there's always a man, the tribal leader, and he teaches the children the story of the tribe, the father. Are y'all still with me? Y'all understand where I'm going here? So if you have boy parts because your legs, what? That means you are a boy. God, don't make mistakes. What? So if you're what? Right, Lynette. Okay. So the job of the man is to rear up the children, okay, and teach them the way, show them the way. All right. The mother is the help. She helps him, and she sees things that the man don't see. Mother sees in a circumference, okay, cyclical. Men usually are tunnel visionaries. We see straight. We see in the straight line. Women see in curves. Okay? So we're looking straight and we can only see what's in front of us. Women can have a great peripheral vision for the man. So she is a help to him because she sees things that he can't see because he's too focused on going forward, and she sees things around him. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? This gives the child a well-balanced home. Yeah, good father is one of the most unsung, unpraised, unnoticed, and yet one of the most valuable assets in our society. Billy Graham, all right? Effie Roth is quoting. Yeah, okay? And so what has happened is society pushed the father out of the picture if you were African American, okay? Lynette said, men see our curves, and we enjoy the curves. God made your curves for our taste, for us to enjoy it, for us to procreate and enjoy sex, not just to have children, but to enjoy it. So he made you curvy. Now, it really depends on your nature or your culture, because all cultures don't really care for curvatures and big breasts and big behinds. It's usually African American culture likes things like that, and many cultures tend to want to be like African American women because they know that that's what the African American man likes. And so many cultures, whether it was Asian or whether it was white, European, they begin to pad their behinds because they want to look like a black woman. They begin to put collagen and pump up their lips because they want to look like a black woman. They try to get busty and breasty, okay? They want to look like you. They want to put some. They want to pad their hips because they want those hips. All right, that's just the way they envy you. They envy your look. They envy your culture. All right, because they want to be with your man. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Kathleen, you listen to Effie tonight on Moody Radio? Yes. I'll tell you, one of the greatest that they have over there. They were blessed to get Effie Roth over there. They were blessed. The whole Moody empire was blessed to get her over there. Yes, Carter, they always trying to copy us. So the man was in trouble. The black man was in trouble. The black father was in trouble because the black woman decided to take on the white woman's fight. What fight was that? The white woman was fighting for more unity, more inclusion with her white husband. And so they were burning their bras, and women's liberality and the feminist movement. White women was that was their war waged against their white husbands. Black women had their black husbands at home living in peace and trying to build up their Black Wall Street in the midst of Jim Crow. You understand? And lynchings and redlining. All right, and things like that. In the midst of racism, the black man was at home. He was at home. That's just the way it was. I was raised in a home where my father was always home. That's just, my uncles were home. All right, my grandfather was home. I didn't come up in an environment where the black man wasn't home. So single motherhood was new to me. When I got grown enough to leave the house, I didn't know what single motherhood was. Okay, where's your father? Where's your husband? Oh, there is none. I wasn't used to that. So don't believe the hype and the narratives that this is going on all over throughout the black neighborhood. It is not. Many of these cases are isolated, and when you turn on the news, they always give you these numbers that are flawed. Because even when the Cosby Show came on, the Cosby Show was the hottest show in America for several years. All right, for several years, and white America thought that the Cosby Show was all made up. Was all made up. Okay, there's that for y'all. That's my girl right there. UrbanPraiseRadio.org. Y'all, please take a snapshot and go there. okay? Because I love to support my black brothers and sisters. Yes, y'all keep going to her show there. All right. So um, it's a farce. What was I talking about? I was talking about some. Can y'all tell me what I was talking about? I got caught up by trying to promote people. I totally forgot. I was talking about white women, wasn't I? Forgot what I was talking about. So now I got to play music so I can remember what I was talking about. I'm talking about white women and black men, black women. I done forgot. The Cosby Show. Thank you. Whew, left me. So the Cosby Show went on for several years, and white America, as well as many in black America, thought that it was fake and phony until they did a reunion with the Cosby Show on Oprah Winfrey Show. Mm-hmm. And they discovered something. What happened was, what white America was seeing that they thought was a farce. Bill Cosby, sometimes you see the credit, it says William Cosby. What he said was that not only him, but some of the younger actors said that there were black families all over America calling Bill Cosby's office, and they were saying that is my family. They said, wait a minute, Dr. Huxtable is my father. Cliff Huxtable is my father. Claire Huxtable is my mother. And we go to, I graduated from an HBCU, and they said many black families from around the country was calling and saying, and they were writing letters saying, thank you for showing this, because that's the family I know. I don't know no other family. And these were black families from all over the country because they didn't know. And if you go to Google right now and type in affluent black families, upper middle class black families, wealthy black families, okay, you will see them dispersed all throughout the country. Those of you who live in Atlanta, there are neighborhoods in Atlanta where there's all black people, and they have beautiful $400,000-$500,000 homes, and they making six figures, sometimes seven, okay, and this wealth all over the place, but you don't see that. Because when you watch the news and you around certain people who are always poor, they always talk about the black man always being poor. But you don't see the influence of African Americans. There's a lot of us out there. I said us, I'm naming and claiming it. Okay? Don't believe the hype. And I believe this is why the black woman started fighting for, she began to fight a white woman's battle towards her white husband. And when she did that, she left her black man. She left him. When she joined that fight with the white woman, then the white woman was making her believe that they had a sense of belonging, but the white woman was doing things behind her back to keep the black woman down. And the black woman wasn't seeing that. She was marching in the streets with the white woman. Even when, remember, when President Trump was elected in 2016, white women from all over the country went out on the street and they started wearing these what y'all call pussy hats. Mm-hmm. Remember those pussy hats, okay? And they were out there and they asked for some of the black women. Many of the black women began to march with them and join forces with them, and Black Lives Matter women was joining forces with them. But when they got on the microphone, it was something else they were saying. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of times black women just jump into stuff that they don't belong. Mm-hmm. You jump in stuff you don't belong. I hear you claim it, but affluent is more like $1 million plus homes. Okay, it don't have to be $1 million. I don't agree with that. I don't believe with that. I know some affluents who make about $250,000 a year, and they are quite affluent. It depends on where they are. You don't have to have $1 million home in certain areas where the medium income is $80,000 and yours is 250,000. Yeah, that's affluent. Yeah, yeah. The white woman took her man. Yeah, yeah. If it's explain those hats, I couldn't understand. I to this day I don't understand the pussy hats. I don't. I still to this day don't understand it. Maybe one of y'all can explain it. And y'all and y'all start wearing the pussy hat. Black women was wearing these stupid white pussy hats. All right, they wasn't white. They were pink. But white women were wearing it, and y'all started wearing it. I said, black woman, what are you doing? Did you not learn from that mess that happened when y'all joined forces by burning bras and all that back 60, 70 years ago? It didn't work out for you. Your homes were broken up, and the white woman got her unit, her due just whatever you call it. I mean, still, the white man makes more than a white woman still today, but she got more. She went home to upper scale communities. You, after marching with them, went back to your slum. You can't jump and join everybody's parties. You just can't do it. Carol said Catwoman. Yeah, maybe it's Catwoman. I don't know. But they were joining it and didn't even know why they were joining it. The white women were using the black women only for their numbers to support their cause and to push their agenda. But the black woman suffered in the end when the white woman, turned her back on her so-called sister. Case in point, Shirley Chisholm. Yep, that's exactly it. Okay, F it, Googled it. Thank you. All right, now that you Google it, can you put it in the comments? All right? You can't join everybody's fight. You don't know what you're doing. Be careful. Be very careful. Don't do it. All right? So that's what you were doing. And what happened? Then you began to, the black man began to feel slighted a little bit, and then many of you allowed the government to come in there and tell you that you cannot have a black man in the house through the public aid system. Because times were rough, times were hard, and the government says, listen, if you want to suck on our tits, you got to get rid of that man. He's a capable man. He's got 2 hands, and he can work. All right, so get him out of the house. And so that's what happens. Black men begin to leave the house, and they begin to sterilize the black woman. They begin to sterilize the black woman. I had a long talk with my father as we were driving on our way to a funeral to South Dakota. That's 15 hours in the car with my father. So, a lot of stories came forth, and he was telling me about the 60s and in the 70s when we had to go on public aid because times were rough for us. This is before the Lord blessed him to own a lot of property and what have you. But in that process, my father was struggling, and we got on public aid. And I remember seeing those stamps come in the mail. No, not really in the mail. Mom had to go down there to the public aid office, and I went with her sometimes, and I saw them just giving all those stamps. And we went down there to Jewel School, okay, and we had 2 and 3 carts full of groceries, and we'd go up there and we'd pull out them 5 and 10 and 20s and 50s and the 100s, okay, and give them to the clerk, okay. I remember those days, and then one day it all stopped. It all went away. And my father said, yeah, I made sure it went away. He said, number one, they was trying to get me out of the house, and I was not going to let the government take care of your mom and you and kick me out of the house. Wasn't going to do it. Number 2, he says they were trying to sterilize your mother. Trying to tell y'all, this stuff here was common among African Americans, and this is why they wrote the movie. Is it Geraldine? Is that the movie, Geraldine? Yeah. Make this a happy home. The case of the Negro family was discussed in the 60s. Yeah. Systematic racism. That's exactly what it is. Normal black families are not portrayed in media as successful with multiple degrees. So, yep, properties, streams of income. They only see black artists, yep, entertainers and successes. Yep, that's exactly it, Michelle Carter. And that's why Donald Trump went after the entertainers when he won the election. He went after the entertainers. He did not want to meet with the black caucus. He did not want to meet with the NAACP. He didn't want to meet with the heads of the HBCU schools, the presidents and what. No, he didn't want to meet with intellectual people. He wanted to only meet with entertainers. Yes, why? Because the way he thought, was the way many white people think about you. Pussycat hats, born of knitters, mostly women, crafting handmade pink caps with cat ears. The Pussy Hat Project is a reference to President elect. Yeah, I knew it. Yep, I knew it. I told y'all it happened when he was elected. So now we tied it in. Thank you, Effie. Normal, everybody black. What? Always shown in blighted neighborhoods. Yeah, I'm trying to tell you. My daddy refused welfare. James Earl Jones broke the welfare worker. Yeah, he did. Claudine. What I say? Geraldine. Claudine is one of my favorite movies. And the thing about it, 74. I didn't see Claudine until I would say maybe 7 years ago when I finally saw Claudine. You know how you could come up in life and know of a movie but never see it from beginning to the end, because every time the TV is on, or you walk, you come home or what have you, or you turn TV on, it's always in the middle of the movie, or it's always at the end of the movie, you know what I'm saying? And so you just don't want to watch it all. So that's the way Claudine was to me. For 40 years, I never saw the whole movie. It's just that I always saw it in the middle and I saw it in the end. And if I catch a movie in the middle or the end, if I catch it in the middle, I'm not going to keep watching. I don't want to watch it if I catch a movie in the middle. I got to catch it at the beginning. That's just me. That's a pet peeve of mine. So it took me 40 years to watch it. And when I finally watched it, I said, uh-oh. Now I get it. Geraldine was hanging out with Flip Wilson. Yeah, Geraldine. Yeah, there it is. Here comes the judge. Yeah, I know, Marlon. Good to see you, sir. All right. So what happened? Black man got to go. And then the government began to give the black woman all of these things to help her out. Food stamps and cash, and the more babies you have, the more we'll give you. Crooklyn, I did see Crooklyn. I made sure I went to the movies to see Crooklyn when it first came out, because I'm always fascinated with the 1970s. And y'all gonna see that on my birthday, how fascinated I am with the 1970s, all right? I did see that. Enjoyed it immensely. That scene where they had to hide the good stuff for the welfare, yeah. And then, of course, I had to download the soundtrack. You know, it became one of my favorite soundtracks. And then I started seeing actors in there that I saw in Cooley High, and I saw in a couple of actors in other movies, and I was like, wow, okay, man, this is all right. Yeah, Marlon, yeah, this is such an evil system. Okay, so then what happened is you who are African American women, you began to get pulled into the hype of that black men were not worth. They were not worth to be around your children. They weren't worth to be in your home. You kicked them out of the home, and many of it is justified because a lot of men were cheating on you. They were physically and mentally abusing you. They were not pulling up. They were not being responsible. They were not taking care of you and taking care of your bills, what have you. So, rightfully so, many of the men did have to leave. Unfortunately, there was not any much counseling given to black families, whether the man didn't receive it or whether it was not accessible to him. It just didn't happen. So the man had to leave the house. I can't blame it all on the man. Some women did kick men out without trying to work things out. All right. So there was an unfortunate imbalance going on there on why the man left. So whether he left because he cheated or he did something, or whether he left because you just didn't like him, he didn't take out the garbage, or he smelled or something like that. Nevertheless, the man left. Then the responsibility of raising a child was on you, but then the unfortunate banter of black man is not in the child's life was going out for decades, and it was false, because I told you that all I saw was black men in black sons' lives. That's all I saw. So when I was hearing from these women saying black men are no good and they're not taking care of their sons or their daughters or their children, I said, I don't. Where is that? Who's doing that? Because I wasn't around that. And then I read the Center for Disease Control op-ed or their study where they talked about that it was a lie after all. Many a time my auntie had to hide the toaster in the coffee machine, and then the government role, as her living boyfriend, government's role. Wow. Yeah, when the social worker would come around the early '60s to check on the recipients. Yeah. All right. No rehabilitation available for redemption, healing, and change, so the black man could return to his place in the family. Absolutely. So what happened? Then these fathers went out and they began to lay seed all over the place, and then he had a family over here, he got a family over there, he's got a family over there, and these single women got. I know too many now where the single women got 4 and 5 children, and out of those 4 children is 4 different men. Okay, she's just a lay. That's all she is a lay. All right, and then you raising up these generations without a father and a dysfunctional family, and then who do they turn into be? They were the ones who were tearing down my Walmart. They bombed my Chase Bank and the gas station. They were just tearing it up. All right, those were your children, that generation. These were not men and women my age who were responsible in our neighborhoods. We don't go tear up our stuff. It's the children of the responsible ones. Don't forget about the war on drugs and the building of prisons, which sent thousands of men to jail. Yes. It was the prison industrial complex is what they call it, Efirov. That has always been the plan. The war on drugs started not with Ronald Reagan. It actually started with Richard Nixon. And he was the master of it, I believe, with Nixon, like Trump. They both have the same spirit. And then it kind of took a back seat after Nixon left office, and then we had a Democratic president after that through Jimmy Carter. And then, of course, we had Gerald Ford, but then we had Jimmy Carter. Then after that, then Reagan took up the mantle of war on drugs after that. And then, of course, it went on. It continued on through him and then his Vice President Bush, and then it really picked up through the three strikes you're out through a Democratic president who was Democrat, but he was acting Republican through the man who y'all tried to vote in his wife for presidency a few years ago, and she didn't make it because black folks remembered. And that war on drugs is why many black men are in jail today for life for a cheap piece of crack. They put a harder crime on crack than they did the affluent drug of the day, which is that powder substance, which costs more because black folks couldn't afford that. It was everything you see in America has a lot of racial overtone to it, all right? They had to make a choice, food for kids through food stamps or your man. It was a systematic breakdown of the black family with survival being, leverage. Yes. Clinton did a lot. He sure did. Yeah. The Democrats started the KKK. Yes, Lynette, the Democrats also gave us the Jim Crow laws. You got to understand. But what happened? This happened. That's what happened. The Democrats were in the South. Black people were a part of the Republican Party. It was the party of the abolitionists. It was the party of Lincoln, all right, who freed the slaves, all right. Your great-great-grandfathers, all blacks were Republicans. They were not Democrats. Then stuff started switching over in the 1930s when we started seeing a change of the guards, and then everybody jumped over in the 1960s through the civil rights bill. So yes, the Democrats did give us all those things. This right here is a different Democrat. And what we see now in the Republican Party is a different Republican Party. They're different than they were 100 years ago. You have to understand that. Yes, Bill Clinton. Crack versus cocaine. That's exactly it. All right. So then, what happened next? Well, women begin to take on this role of the headship of the home, and to the point that she began to call herself father. She figured, well, I can be the father too. Since the father's not in the home, I'm doing the fatherly duties. And then your sisters begin to uh, co-sign this madness that God made a mistake or God reassigned, like homosexuality, like the LGBTQIA, the reassignment of a person that you were born a man, but I feel like a woman inside, so there must be a mistake, and I must get reassigned to this. Now that whole thing with intersex is another show that we could talk about. I've talked about those shows before, where you've got they used to call them hermaphrodites, but they stopped calling them that now. All right, so that's another show. But you begin to take on, you black women, you begin to feel something in your heart, the pain, all right, of these people who are struggling on their own, and you allowing them to live in their brains in this made-up world that a woman can be the father. And so I'm gonna tell you a secret about that. When a little boy sees you doing things that you think you're doing fatherly things, that boy always see mama doing those things. He never sees his father in you. He will never see his father in you. You could call things different colors all you want to. You can say you white even though you're black. You can call yourself a monkey. It don't matter. The nature in the man will be the nature in the man. Hermaphrodites. Yes. All right. I told my oldest son I could never be his father, but I will do my best to stand in the gap. All right. Be the best mother you can be, Nakia. And that's all you can be. That happened to me at work today. Since I was a single parent, a lady came up to me and said, "Happy Father's Day." And I said, "I'm not a father." Ooh, to the wee. Delma Connolly. You a bad sister. You can't be it. You can't be a father. Guess what? Guess what I can't be? Huh? Guess what I can't be? Because why is it that you can be a father, but I can't be a mother? You know how many single dads that are out there who are successfully raising their children? The children live with him. All right? He is the head. He is the mother may have visitations, but this man is taking care of he can't be the mother. Yes, there it is. Can't be the mother, Delma says. Turkey says, can't be. I can't be. So why is it that you could be the father, but if I said I'm the mother, I would be laughed to scorn? All right? So my son, when my wife and I divorced, my son was about 8 years old. He's almost 30 now. Okay? Good to see you, Rochelle Corbin. Love you, girl. Yeah, you have the wrong parts, Lynette. My son was 8 years old when we separated, we divorced. I had visitation rights, and I didn't fight with my wife in court, so I allowed her to have the children. Even though in many cases, many ways, well, because of our schedule, 85% of the time spent was with me. I did everything with my children because my wife at the time worked all day long, all right? So I woke the kids up, and I bathed them, I ironed their clothes. I took one to school at one time, and I took another one to school at the other time because they were 3 years apart, all right? And then I had to pick one up from daycare and then go and play with her in the park, Rebecca in the park, and take her walking. We lived in a nice little area where the lakefront was. Effie, you know, over there where the Chicago, um, where they golf on 71st and Yates over there. The what they call that thing, the something club, the country club. Okay, South Shore Club. All right, we lived over there, so it was really nice. And so I would take her over there, and we walk up and down. And then when it was time for Walter Jr. to get off school, and then we go and pick him up. And then I'd go to the grocery store. They shop with me, and then I'd go in the kitchen and make them dinner, lunch. Lunch. Okay, and then they would eat lunch, and then maybe about 7 o'clock that night, my wife would come home. She worked at a bank, and she did actually she always did overtime, and then it was time for them to spend some time with Mama, and so that I could do my night gigs because I was a musician at nighttime. I was in ministry. It was tough for us. Yes, South Shore Country Club. Yeah, that's it. And so that went on every day. Okay, and many times I had to make dinner. I had to make dinner for my wife, and of course for the children. So I made most times if it's on a weekend, I would make breakfast for them, and we would make we would eat breakfast, and I would sit and read the Bible to them because that's just the way it was in my house. You had to read the Bible. All right, after breakfast, we studied the Word of God, and then we went out. I let them play with their imaginary friends and watch TV or do whatever. That was a Saturday. Sunday, we went to church. Of course, we at church all day. Monday started my routine of taking care of them all day long. I played with them. I did their helped them with their homework. I was very present in their lives. Okay, so I'm looking at this. Let's see, how do I get rid of this? Okay. Hold on. Okay. I think my audio went out when I did the screen. Hold on. Testing. Okay. I think my mic had went out. Okay. So debunking the most pervasive myth about black fathers. Okay. Am I back, by the way? Y'all can see me, right? I mean, hear me, right? Now look what it's saying here. Let me see if I can get it close up here. Okay. Did I come back when I showed the screen again? Tell me, did I come back when I showed the screen the second time? Okay. All right. So let me go back. Okay. Okay, so here it's telling you percentage of fathers living with their children under 5 who's on a daily basis. Okay, you see that side by side almost, but you see where the black family is fed or ate meals with them, bathed or diapered or dressed them. Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers here. Played with them. Okay. Read to them. That's the black families. And this is the narrative. Still the same CDC data show black men are nearly 3 times as likely as white men to have at least one child they don't live with, but below pointed to policy. Policy-driven issues that may be driven the disparity. For example, a previous report, they're saying here, the New York Times found that 100 black women not in jail or prison for every 83 non-incarcerated black men. So mass incarceration has actually drained 1.5 million black men, many of whom are young and of a married age, from their communities, making it more difficult for black women to find committed partners of the same race. All right, that's what's going on there. Mm-hmm. And this has been going on for a while. They started that data. They started this data in 2010, and this is updated in 2016. So that's only 3, almost 4 years now. Okay. It is now 4 years because that's June 19. Okay. So that's updated, which means the study started in 2010 and it hasn't changed. Hasn't changed. You are knowledgeable and your presentation also. More power to you. Blessings to you, Evelyn Dotson. I appreciate you so much. I believe it way more about 2 million plus. Yeah, yeah, Effie, and you could be right. By now, I mean 4 years from now, even at this study, it could be way more. But for sure, this is the problem. Incarceration is killing the black family. It's destroying it. And much of it is systematic. Much of it is. So I just wanted to come on tonight. I had a long day. I went to church. I basically was the church because our church is still closed, all right? But, our praise team and the musicians still do live stream there. I was exhausted, and I was on my way to go see my father and to be with him and my brothers and sisters. And my daughter, Rebecca, says, okay, well, hurry up and come home because I'm taking you out to eat. I was like, well, bump that. I'm going home now so you can take me out to eat, and I'll go see my dad and my brothers later on. So I went home, and she was ready, and she drove me to Hyde Park. Those of you who live in Chicago know that Hyde Park is uppity for black folks. That's where Barack Obama's house is. That's where he lived as he was running for president. All right, I sat in the room with Barack Obama when he was over there at the Church of Christ over there on 95th Street. It was awkward because Barack was running for senator here in Chicago. He was knocking on doors, and we kind of laughed at him and laughed at his name. I worshiped with him. Jeremiah Wright. He moved to Hyde Park and bought that beautiful home, and the real estate went up. Okay, that's why they got their knee on our men's neck to send them. Yes, yeah. So I'm with my daughter, and we went to this beautiful restaurant. I buy black now, and my daughter also is into buying black now. Everything we do, we try to find a black establishment, and this restaurant is Jamaican, called Jagril, authentic Jamaican cuisine. Okay, let me show you the picture. Let me see that right there. Okay, it's see-through. It's see-through because it's green. Okay, Jagril, authentic Jamaican, and we waited 2 hours. All right, I'm gonna say this and let y'all go. Okay, we waited. Lynette, I don't understand. Well, you in and then you out. Lynette, I just don't understand. What does this birth certificate got to do with Hyde Park? Hyde Park is my neck of the woods. Oh, 8 blocks from his house. So yeah. So you know Harper Court, Effie Roth, where the movie theater is, or that's where this grill is. All right, blessings to you, Justin Deloney. Okay. And the wait, she said, was about 45 minutes, maybe an hour. Then when she looked around, she says, okay, maybe an hour and 30 minutes. Why? Because since the state opened up, they still cannot serve people inside. They have to serve you outside. okay, on the terrace, whatever you call that thing, okay. So me and my daughter waited outside for 2 hours to get some jerk chicken. All right, and I said, baby girl, this food better be good. And the only reason why I'm waiting this long is because this is a black establishment. She said, yeah, because I ain't leaving. I'm staying right here, Pops. You going to eat this food. So we did, and they finally called us as the sun was setting because we got there at 5:30. We wound up finally sitting down at 7:30. All right. By that time, most people had left, and we were just a few of us left outside. And then when that food came, let me tell you, Effie, when that food came, and I ordered the ribs. It was some of the best eating I had all year. They had this cabbage with the plantain on it and this carrot I never tasted cabbage like that. It was some of the best cabbage I had ever tasted in my entire life. I was so elated to eat at our establishment. I waited 2 hours and the food was delicious, and my daughter, my pretty, beautiful daughter, took me out, and I just enjoyed my time with my baby girl. This was indeed one of the great father days that I've had in a long time. Some food is worth the wait. Yes, and that food was worth the wait. Was it salty? I think it was sauteed cabbage. Yes, that's what it was. Man, y'all, I wish y'all had told me about this sauteed cabbage, because that thing blessed my soul. All right? All right, it's Harper Court, Justin Deloney. If you live in Chicago, you should know where Harper Court is in Hyde Park. I don't know why they call it Hyde Park, because you can't park nowhere. Because you can't find no parking. Maybe that's why they call it Hyde Park, because they hide the parking. All right? So, and so I'm sitting there eating with my daughter, and then we hear, don't shoot, please don't shoot me. And where we had parked our car in the parking lot was a man running away from the police. Yeah, food is good when you're hungry. That's how I cook my cabbage at home. Okay, Effie. Well, let me know what time. Okay. And this black dude trying to get away from the cops, and he gets in his car, hijacks his girlfriend's car, and then he's trying to get out of the parking lot and swipes cars. He's swiping cars, and then he gets out of that parking lot, and the police jumps out and opens his door and tries to pull him out the car, and we all watching this happen before our eyes. Don't shoot me, don't you shoot me. And then he pulls off, and he started hitting every car that he can find up and down the street until they finally caught him. And I said, man, what kind of Father's Day is this? This don't make no sense. So Hyde Park is a small little neighborhood, so every cop in Hyde Park they ever hired in America history was out there, so we got blocked in. But me and baby girl sat there and ate our Jamaican chicken like nothing was going on. Folk was running in the street, and I just sat there and looked in baby girl's eyes. And I just ate like my heart's content. Yeah, Judge said, you ain't lying, ain't no parking. Yeah. It was crazy. So that's how my Father's Day ended. And it didn't end there. Then I went and we went to go see my father. All right, y'all saw the picture on Facebook. My old man, still acting young, still crazy as ever. All right, we went to go see him, and with all my brothers, all right, and my sisters, and he just had a great time with his sons and his daughters. And that's the way a Father's Day should be. Lots of University of Chicago cops worked the area, and those were the ones over there with their guns drawn. The University of Chicago, they ain't Barney 5. You see the University of Chicago cops, they ain't Barney 5. Man, they handle their business over there. You hear me? I wish I had you like a father, bro. Launching Deep, wow, That touched me. That touched me. You try to make me cry. You trying to make me cry, launching deep? Cause you got me Twitter. You got me Twitter pated all up in here. Woo! I tell you, I was blessed. I was blessed to have a good father, and so the way I father is with the way my father fathered me, and the way he could not father me. All right, clock keeper. All right, help me out here. Um, there were some things my father didn't know what to do. Why? Because his father didn't know what to do. Wesley says, "Oh, what? You should part of my story, Wesley Gray. I should what now? Type that again, Wesley Gray. My father come from Mississippi, and I know what he wanted to say, but a lot of times he didn't know how to say it. No, I didn't take him no food because he was at a smorgasbord, which was his granddaughter's house, and there was more food there than there was in the whole Hyde Park. So, no, I didn't take him no food because there plenty of food over there. My father wasn't there. He didn't have power. He didn't step up. Oh, I see. I understand. Launching deep, launching in. This is why I have adopted many children. I adopted many. I have several sons and daughters. They don't live in my house, but I've been fathering them. I've gone to cotillions and drove them to proms and drove them many miles to enroll in college and into their dorms. I've taken them to get bank accounts and all these things because the father was not available. So launching deep, there are those out there who are extended fathers who pick up the slack, and the kids that I've adopted, it's almost like they didn't miss a beat. Now, yeah, there's always something missing there, but you try to do what you can for the children who don't have. Those of you who are fathers, if you can hear me, I beg of you, please. All of this is what's going on in the streets, police brutality and racism, and in the midst of the pandemic. This is your time to step up. This is a good time. 2020 is a great year. It's the year of the black man. 2020 is the year of the black man. When I say black man, that includes you, black woman, because if you came to my show early, you see how I said that God called both Adam and Eve. He called them both Adam. So this is the year of the black man. 2020 is the year of vision, and eyes are being opened. Knowledge is being increased. People are being exposed, the good, the bad, and the ugly. All right? And the system that used to be that lorded over us and put us in this struggle, the chains are being loosed and broken up. All right? So now is your time, and milk this while you can. So you fathers, it's time for you to stop being lazy. It's time for you to stand up. Get your home in order, your house in order. Return back to your children if you're not there already. Spend as much precious time with them as you possibly can, because your children are getting ready to go through some really hard, trying, perilous times. As you get closer to the grave, they're moving closer into their lives, all right? And they're getting ready to go through some times. So please, this is time for wealth management and also wealth transfer, you black fathers. So get your ducks in a row. It's time for you to start saving. If you haven't started, it's time for you to start investing. If you haven't done that, start a business. Do it now. Get good counseling for your mind, your body, and your soul. Start eating good, eating healthy, drinking plenty of water, at least enough water. Don't over drown yourself, because they've been telling you to do this much and then y'all been drowning yourself. Drink the right amount of water, vitamins. Do all you can for your body, because COVID came in here and killed thousands of you because of these existing conditions. And so you want to make sure that you build your body up so that your immune system can handle a second wave that can possibly be coming. After you build up your body, you're right, be at the same time be building up your mind, your spirit man, your soul. Connect your mind and your spirit to God. Listen to wisdom. Read Proverbs, the whole book, and chase after wisdom like you do these women, and silver and gold and houses and cars, all right, and sports. Chase after wisdom, because when you do that, the Bible says chasing after wisdom leads you to a path of righteousness, and it keeps you away from evil women, is what wisdom does. And when you have wisdom in your life, it shows you who evil people are. It cries in the streets. You can't get away from it, because God created wisdom in the very beginning of the earth. Before the earth was formed, the Bible says in Proverbs chapter 7 that he created wisdom. So then get wisdom, fathers. And now with this wisdom, now you are capable and you are equipped now to do something with your monies. Put monies away. You should have a savings account and then an investment account. You save up until a certain amount and then stop saving. I know you've never heard this before. Your black father never told you this before, but I need you to know you save up to a certain amount and you must stop saving. Why? Because saving, all you're doing is hoarding money, and money saved is money being lost, because right now your money is worth this, but 5 years from now your money won't be worth that. Your money is sitting there dying and losing value. You understand? So you must have a nest egg saved up and then stop it, because if you're putting too much emphasis on that, and then your money is not making money for you, because it's just sitting up there. And the reason why it's losing its value, because inflation kicks in every year, and the money loses its value. All right. So you have to stop saving after a certain amount of time, or after you get up a certain amount. That's why they say you need to have at least 6 months saved up. Why didn't they say a whole year? Why didn't they say 2 years? Because you need to have 6 months saved up, because you keep saving more than that, you're actually doing more harm than you're doing good. You didn't know that, did you? No one taught you that. So you have to stop saving after that, and then you start investing. This money you put so that it can make money for you. Your money supposed to work for you. Your money supposed to work for you. Understand? So as you have your monies in certain accounts that have a great return on your investment, all right, as it's making money, turning money, then you're peeling off a little bit of that and you investing it into some type of passive income. What is passive income? That is building something, producing something that when you are asleep, it is making money for you. Do you understand what I'm saying? My passive income would be, of course, my book. All right. That's passive income because it's just sitting on Amazon and people stumble upon it and they buy it. Whether I promote it or not, somebody's going to buy it. But mostly because I promote it and then they buy it. And then at the end of the month, Amazon will send me an email that says, guess what we're getting ready to send you? We're getting ready to send you your passive income. And then I do these shows almost every day on YouTube. I monetize it, and YouTube says, listen, if you allow us to play some ads on your channel, then we will pay you while you are asleep. That's it, Effie. Making money while you snore. All right. So that's passive income. Your father didn't teach you that, but I'm doing it. I'm trying to tell you what you need to do. And then whatever you're good at, people will give you, they will buy it. Whatever you're good, it doesn't have to be a product. It could just be a service. And your service could be teaching, showing, coaching, life coaching. Okay, whatever you do, teach somebody how to do it. There is an audience out there that want to have what you have. Those men in the Bible were anointed and they were casting out devils and they were doing things, and these witches wanted to buy what Paul and Silas and Barnabas, all right, they wanted to purchase the anointing that these men have. Whatever you got, you are anointed, and men and women want to buy what you have. You understand? That's just the way it is. So instead of trying to, don't be selling your prayers, okay? But sell them a service, a coaching service or something, because people want to buy it. All right. So put together some coaching, write some books, You don't have to write a full-fledged book. You can just write an ebook and sell it for $1.99. You understand? But these are passive incomes. What are you doing? You're building up wealth for yourself and your posterity. Understand? If you do these things this year, 2020, in the midst of all these things, God will sustain you. He'll take good care of you. And 5 years from now, you're going to look back at these days and these pep talks that I'm giving you right now and say, well, praise God, look how far I've come. And I've passed this down to my son and my daughter. Launching deep, what Bible translation do I recommend? I don't really recommend. Bible translations are good for you, the person. Everybody don't like King James. Everybody don't like NLT. Everybody don't like NIV. Okay, all right. So people like what they like, depending on the language. I use King James Version coupled with the New Living Translations. Those are the only two Bibles that I like, those translations, all right? And then I definitely then use some concordance and some Bible dictionaries, and Strong's Concordance is a good reference when you're trying to understand the Bible in the Greek, all right, in the Hebrew. But to each his own on translations. I will say, I do not study from the NIV anymore. I used to, but I do not study from NIV because that Bible translation has been tainted. All right, the Zondervan publication, that company have tainted it, so I don't do it. Then as we build our wealth, we will have more to sow into your ministry. Amen. Amen, Effie. Amen. What do you think about Amplified? Amplified is good as well. Amplified or ESV is good as well. Effie, I was trying to tell pastors that if you want your offerings to not fall by the wayside, or if you're crying because the offerings are low, this is before the shutdown, I was telling them to bring in financial advisors in your church and teach the people how to make money. The more money the people make, the more they will give in this ministry. But you biting the hand that feeds you. You're taking this money from these single mothers who many of them are struggling. They got 2 jobs, all right? And they're struggling. Then you want $1,000 pastoral offer and all this stuff. No. That right there, God's going to get us for that. For the many generations, God is going to hold us responsible for raping and pillaging the saints. This holiday overtime is going to buy me a new hat. Yeah, I'm sorry. Lord have mercy. You received my book yesterday, Liddell? Praise God. Well, tell me how it was. Send me an inbox message and let me know what you thought about it. Mothers forgive. Let it go. Let the past. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Liddell. Let it go. Let it go. Chase after wisdom like you chase women. You going to make millionaires tonight. Arnell Welch, my dearest brother. All right, I'm going up the screen here to see if I missed anybody. We need more elders like you, sir. According to the book of James, these are the works of true religion. Yeah, Michelle, true religion, pure religion is what, y'all? Can you put it in the comments? Fathers, don't try to catch up. Just catch on. Ooh, to the we. Your children need your presence, provision, and protection. Ooh, Effie, I'm so glad you're here. And it's not 2 a.m. and I'm in the bed. Reading your stuff the next day. Yeah, that's so true. The money is in the church, but show me how instead of always preaching about Daniel in the den. Come on. Yeah, it's crazy. Thank you, Clock Keeper. I'm sorry, I got carried away. You know, when I started flowing for like 4 minutes straight, okay, and I ain't reading your comments, that means I need to get this out before I forget it. All right, so yeah. So there's ways, y'all. I have my savings goal and working towards it. Nakia, all right, well, we could talk. Again, we're going to continue our Black economics classes here free of charge by me, and I'm going to show you what to do with your monies, all right? Because, again, you never heard this before, but after a certain time, stop saving money. Your grandmother was doing it wrong. They was putting the money under the mattress, and then the house caught fire, okay? Or if the house didn't catch fire, the money sat there for decades and it lost its value. You wasn't doing nothing but just hoarding money. And that's what happened after the shutdown. The stock market crashed, the economy fell, and all people started hoarding monies. And you don't do that. It doesn't do you any good. All right, y'all. I think I've bored your patience enough. Hey, send me a birthday wish, a gifted friends 1 at Gmail. I see them coming in. They're coming in slowly, but they're coming in. Leave me a message, 30 seconds. Just grab your phone, like this, long way, okay? And say, hey, y'all, this is Nakia Bronzeville from Chinatown, Oklahoma, and I just want to wish Sirwalterj Jones a happy birthday, okay? And just do a catchphrase. Just do a catchphrase. Y'all know my catchphrases. Do my opening to my show. Do something funny. I want the people to see it. I'm going to put the video together, and I want to share it with my whole world, okay? On my birthday, July the 1st. My birthday is July 1st. That's only a few days from now. All right, so get these videos to me, please. Get them to me because I got to get this into production. Don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait. All right, like in the safe. Wait, say, to be honest, I think it's best to save money in your house. All right, Justin. If you got a petty cash, that's fine. But you'd be foolish to keep your money in your house. Don't do it. All right. If you're going to save money, then you put it in an online account and make sure that account is at least giving you an interest rate of at least 2 to 3%. At least they're out there. All right. And so let your money sit in that account, and they are secured by the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. All right, FDIC, secure that money. So don't be as nervous because it's an online account. It's insured. So why put your money at home? Put $1,000 at home, and over a few years, it's not $1,000 anymore. It's $900. What sense does that make? Instead of putting $1,000 in an online bank where you are getting interest every year. Now over 5 years, you don't have 1,000, you have $1,005. Okay, it just doesn't make any sense to just hoard money and it's losing value. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's the whole thing with the buying a car. Rich people don't just buy cars, even though they can afford to buy several of them. Buying a car makes no business sense because as soon as you buy it, what happens to the car? And who invests in an asset where as soon as you buy it, it's not worth what you bought it for 5 minutes later? Warren Buffett is the wealthiest man in the world, and he says, I drive this car I've been driving for years. I ain't buying no new car. It makes no business sense. You understand? So we got to start thinking differently. Think like a wealthy man. Stop thinking like a poor man. Think like a wealthy man. From this day forward, black fathers, I'm trying to tell you, you're trying to build up Black Wall Street. Stop running with all these subgroups and pulling your money out of here because somebody's got a bullhorn, tell you to put your money out there. Stop running around. Set your behind down. Google. Get some smarts, all right? Study economics. Stop watching these stupid TV shows. Turn on CNBC. Turn on Bloomberg. Turn on Fox Business News. You understand? Turn on Yahoo Finance. All right? Turn those shows on and watch them throughout the day. And then you'll be shocked how dumb you really are. I'm telling you how dumb I've watched that stuff. When I first started watching, I said to myself, I am so dumb. I know nothing about money. I watched that stuff for one day and I says, I don't know what they're saying here. What is this? None of this makes sense to me. And I cussed. And I says, never again will I play the dummy. Never again. And And trust me, I grabbed my pen, I grabbed my paper, I grabbed my computer, and I turned those stations on. And all day long, I was trying to figure out, define what are these words and what does it mean and why do you do this and why do you do that. So now, when I hear about something happening in the news, you may be like, it don't matter to me. But to me, I'm like, it does matter to me because it hurts my bottom line. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Michelle, MetaBank. I don't know if MetaBank is a good online bank. Do a comparison when you go to Google and you type in top online banks. Okay? You type that in. If MetaBank don't show up, there's your answer. Okay? I did a show on YouTube and I talked about the online banks. I gave 4 or 5 of them that gives a decent interest rates. Well, I did that a couple months ago. Things may have changed. You understand? So do your due diligence. I feel you. Thanks for sharing. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're welcome, Justin. That's the beginning of wisdom when you realize you don't know everything. Also, you can't put your money on your back if you want to save. Come on, Effie. Effie. That's making the same mistake the person with the 10 talents made. Yes. Buried it. That's exactly what he did, Amber. Buried it. Okay. All right. One little over is Father's Day. Clock keeper. I'm 16 minutes over. Happy Father's Day to me. All right. Go ahead. Leave me a 30-second message there, will you please? For me. It's about 47 of you left. For me. Your little brother. Leave it for me. Please. I just want to see your face and share my friends with the world. All right. If you do that for me, I'll thank you. Okay. All right. If you want to be a blessing to our ministry, you know how you know the routine. Y'all have been, man, I tell you, y'all have been humbling me, because every day someone has been doing something, just doing something, and it's been a humble experience. So I want to appreciate all of the things that y'all do when you send stuff to my Cash App. Again, it helps me keep this stuff. Because sometimes you see the video might be, the lighting is not that great. Well, these bulbs, 500 watts per, and they bust, and they don't cost $1. So I walked in tonight, getting ready to go online, and then one had blew out. So now I got to borrow from Peter to pay Paul to screw that in, okay? All kind of stuff happens, all right? And then it also helps us to continue in our ministry, sustain us as well, and keep our lights on. That's what you do. You who give, it helps us to keep our lights and our gas on. Because baby girl always cold. She's anemic, and she ran my furnace like crazy during the wintertime. My bill was high. In the wintertime, my bill was high. Yeah, baby girl anemic. So she took me out today, and the weather it dropped to 80 degrees, and she said, "Daddy, can I have your coat?" That's it. Hey, baby girl. It was 80 degrees. And she said, thank you. I said, yeah, that's why my heat bill's so high. Yeah, we're going to have to ask God to heal you of this blood. All right? And so y'all help me pay my gas bill. Thanks. Because baby girl, I got to keep her warm. That's my baby. Yeah, I kill a man over her. We put our cash where God's mouth. Ooh, to the wee. That's powerful. Gotta go. I love y'all. I appreciate it. Thank you, Clock Keeper. You are the greatest. Keep the clock going, cause you correct at least twice. You see what I did? I love y'all. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.